All right, we are locked and loaded for this could be a record-breaking episode. We have the studio power-packed with movers and shakers in Buckhead, Atlanta, beyond, around the world. And this is the show that we've been looking forward to, the Co-Founders Podcast. It's really gotten some legs. If you want to be a guest, just go to cofounderspodcast.com and submit a guest request, and we'll see if we can make it happen. An extra $1.50 doesn't hurt, or a cigar. We'll be talking about cigars here during the show. But and this show, as we mentioned, being brought to you by WeWork and Craig Williams. I think you just land from our
creative space. Had
a
lot of great things going on over there, and I'm glad I wasn't walking today. I was driving, so it worked out.
And Craig Williams, the voice of Co-Founders Podcast, co-host. So welcome to the studio, and let's quickly just welcome each of our guests, and we'll start the show off. So, buddy, I've known for quite some time, Mr. Chad Massacre Carceron. Welcome to the studio, Chad.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So what will you be chatting about? You got two topics up your sleeve, right?
Well, I've got an IT company that I've had for a long time, going on 15 years, and then the newer project is Speakeasy, which is now it's officially its own business as of this month, and that's kind of an anti-chamber of commerce nonprofit business networking organization. We'll talk more about it later.
Well, congratulations on your first month. It's official.
Thank
I know you've been
official month. He's had quite a show here and there.
Yeah. But for Speakeasy, because I know I see you at a lot of bars, and you always have a cigar at the bar. Yeah. So now it's official.
Yeah. Well, it's been around 5 years.
Yeah.
We split it out and made it official this month.
Nice.
Soft lunch, soft lunch.
Yeah, I see you doing a pop-up over there, right?
Yeah, we'll talk. They don't have the movie cameras over there.
We'll talk about it. All right, and also the guys we've met online, I think through LinkedIn as co-founders, and we'll talk about a little bit more backstory how we also recently reconnected. But the guys from Placement. So if you just quickly introduce yourself, your names, and your mission, real quick.
Yeah, thanks. My name is Matthew. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Placement. We're excited to be here and tell you a little bit how we're allowing technical hires to leverage big data to find better candidates.
Sounds cool.
Paris Humphrey, Chief Design, everything UI, UX. Excited to be here.
Nice.
Andy Wu, the CFO, a.k.a. the Bean Counter.
Nice. All right, so that stay tuned for those interview segments in just a moment. But first up, we have returning guest, Andrew. You were here probably over a year ago, I think, right? Yeah, quite a while.
Years.
So we're going to get some updates from, but now you have kind of a new venture, rented.com.
Yeah, it was Vacation Futures.
Right, yeah.
And what happened was the day we bought vacationfutures.com, we bought rentfutures.com.
Really?
The whole concept was roll this out more broadly. And then a couple years in, we saw 30% of our transactions were happening in urban markets in New York, Boston, San Francisco, LA. So the vacation part didn't really make sense.
Right.
And then people started renting boats and things on the site. So it wasn't just the properties even. And there were about 5 hedge fund traders in New York that understood the futures part of our business, and everybody else thought it was a timeshare business, and it was just confusing. So rented.com was available, and we said, that better explains what we do.
Well, that was going to be my first question.
Yeah, it was available.
Yeah, we didn't talk about this because I'm obsessed with GoDaddy and domain names. I have way too many. But how did you get rented.com? You had to pay an auction or buy somebody for that? Or?
Yeah, I mean, nobody was using the site, so we just went and bought it.
Uh-huh. He's not going to tell you how much.
We'll hear the backstory when we're off the mic, So a little preview here. So this is rented.com is the leading online marketplace that helps, as you mentioned, owners of second homes find the best professional rented managers for their homes. So that's what you're kind of partnering up, that peer-to-peer or connecting those folks?
Correct. Yeah. Today, if you have an investment property, a vacation home, a second home, you really have 2 options. One, you could go put it yourself on Airbnb or VRBO and take all the financial and operational risk and spend 8 to 10 hours every single week doing that. So it's a lot of work, a lot of pain for uncertain reward.
That's why I don't have a vacation home. I was wondering about that,
Your other option is, before those guys, there were local property managers, and you can go to them, but it's very difficult to compare them. They all have their own contracts, they all have their own way of doing things, and so it's hard to tell, am I getting a good deal or a bad deal? So what we did was we standardized the whole contracting process, and we have them all compete. So it's like LendingTree. Managers compete, you win. Here all the managers are bidding against each other. They're buying your future rental weeks for a guaranteed income. And then as a homeowner, you just cash your checks and you go on vacation when you want. You don't have to worry about lawn maintenance. You don't have to worry about touch-up painting. That's all with the manager. Then on Twitter, you can either do @rentedcom, or my personal one is @M as in Michael, A as in Andrew, McConnell. And then on Facebook, Instagram, all those, we're always rentedcom because they're inactive accounts. So I could get the website. I could get rented.com, but I couldn't get the Twitter handle.
That's crazy.
or
Yeah,
Instagram.
that's crazy.
So I'll be happy to kick it off here.
So announce yourself if you would, because as a podcast, when each of you come on,
Sure. So my name is Matthew, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Placement. So about 2.5 years ago, me and Paris actually decided to start a company to help recruiters find qualified technical candidates. We were sick and tired of getting calls from every recruiter in Atlanta trying to hire us for Java positions and .NET positions and, positions that we normally wouldn't work because we're web developers. And so we decided to fix the problem in the market, and that's how Placement got its start. So halfway along the journey, we brought Andy on to handle all of our, operations and financial needs. And we launched in January of this year, and we've been just rocking and rolling ever since.
That's awesome.
Yep. So let's, if each one of you once again introduce yourself, and then what's a challenge with y'all's business?
Well,
and you are?
Paris Humphrey. Sorry about that.
We are podcasting, yeah. But although we're doing video, but just to cover the bases, yeah.
Absolutely. Paris Humphrey, all the glorious design, prettiness on the site. The challenge that we seem to face is we know that there's a need in the market for what it is that we're doing, and we built a very, very, very good product. We built a product from the inside out of what the recruiters are looking for, and we break down all real developer data and information. And the issue seems to be that when our recruiters go in and search and source, they see all of said information and still kind of go elsewhere to try and find more information for that. Even though we have all of that information there for them, they just continue to do the same recruiting tactics, and we're trying to...
You're shifting the paradigm, and it's not easy. Being a pioneer,
that's a great way to say
part
it.
of how it works, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
definitely. Recruiters are creatures of habit, and unfortunately, we're trying to break them out of that habit and bring them something new that's actually better. And what you find in a lot of markets is, even though there's a better product out there, it's hard to get people to adopt that better product, especially when they've been doing things the same way for years, right? But we're starting to gain more traction. We brought on a very talented sales director who actually used to be an account manager and a recruiter at a recruiting firm here in Atlanta, and she's been really helping us kind of bridge that gap with our potential users and customers, and she's able to speak with them and connect with them on a certain level that we were never able to do as developers. And so she's been really killing it for us lately and bridging that gap for us.
Carceron was I was getting my degree in psychology, met my current business partner at KSU, and basically instead of going to get my doctorate, I sold out and stayed with IT because it was 1999, the height of the Y2K bubble. Right. And I was getting a job offer for $55,000, I think it was, out of college to go do IT management for a company called Century Hospitality out of New York, which at the time they were managing the Marietta Conference Center here.
Oh, wow.
So I was based out of here, and then really cut my teeth on, opening up and building out networks for large 4-diamond, 4-star plus conference centers and resorts all over the country. And then 9/11 happened and hospitality tanked, and so I found myself, facing a layoffs, and, all these hotels still needed support. So basically I did what a lot of people do is I resigned forcibly and turned around and made those hotels my clients for basically a 50% cut in pay. And then the guy who got me into computers, he had started his own company but didn't like his partner, so we just kind of, got the band back together, and that's how Carceron started.
Wow.
Like white-collar computer-using employees, so anybody who wears ties to work is good. Professional services, legal, financial, and definitely healthcare. We are a HIPAA-compliant company, and we also help businesses that are subject to HIPAA compliance deal with HIPAA issues. So we can help them out with that. But the service offering is kind of the standard. I've obviously helped us. Hey, I can't print. Hey, I can't connect to the server. But it's also high-level, CIO-level consulting. Like, hey, the business is growing 50% year over year, and we need to figure out what infrastructure investments need to be made, at certain points of growth. we're a telecom broker or hosted VoIP. If you hired an IT guy or an IT department and said, your job is to handle IT, that's what we do. We're just not an employer. If anybody's and they've since closed it.
Yes,
but,
I opened up for them over there.
Prohibition went out of business? Is that what you're saying?
in Georgia, they are
twice
reopening.
now? Oh, obviously, yeah.
But I used to take a lot of clients and friends there, and I just realized, this is how I like to get to know people over a cigar and a drink. It's relaxed. Yeah, you're going to talk about what you do for the first 2 minutes, but a cigar takes longer than that to smoke. So eventually the barriers break down, and then you're like, we get into the real you, and that's all I care about. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that do what I do. There's a lot of lawyers. There's a lot of finance people. There's not that many people that have unique businesses, except for maybe the guys I'm sitting with in this room. But ordinarily, the people I'm running around and dealing with are kind of, a lot of the run-of-the-mill people. And so it's more about getting to know them personally. And, Scotch and cigars are great social lubricants. Speakeasy is a membership-only group, and I handpick everybody that applies.
Thanks for accepting my membership.
Yeah. I'm still waiting on the wait list, yeah.
the criteria, this hands down is what separates us from many other groups. When we did the survey results, this was one of our biggest differentiators. To be a member of the group, you have to be a B2B business owner or executive. You can't be in business-to-consumer sales, and you cannot be in multi-level marketing in any way, shape, or form. On the B2C side, we'll make exceptions. If you own a Kia dealership, not so much. If you own Maserati, probably make an exception. I also make exceptions for what I call, people of interest. I've got to change that because I know it's like a law enforcement term.
Yeah. Nice.
We have the music director of the Fox is a member. We have a guy who sells space artifacts. So, like, if you're Buzz Aldrin and you can't make your house payment that month and you want to sell a piece of NASA history, this guy is basically like the front man to, go sell your space artifact. So he gets in because just what a unique niche, right? He's an interesting guy to talk to. Good stories. So if you got good stories, you don't bore me.
Or the Dos Equis man is who you're looking for. That's the exception,
yes,
right?
I want the most interesting man in the world. Right. And I'm more lenient towards women applicants than I am men, only because I think if you're a woman and you've got the chutzpah to go in there and apply to hang out with a bunch of alpha males smoking, then I think more power to you. So I'm a little lenient with more women.
Now, would you make an exception? I've been kicking around the idea of starting up a new network marketing company of selling cigars. Would that no?
I don't know. It's not going to work. We'll have to talk about it. And obviously people that are in the industry, though, they do get in.
Yeah. All right, so one more time, gentlemen, let's go around the table. Chad, we want to have you give out your information, but we'd like for you all to share what's a good day look like for you and your business. And as you share that, then let folks know how they get in touch with you. So, Chad, how do folks find about those two ventures, and what's a good day look like for you?
For Carceron, it's carceron.net, CARCERON, as in Nancy.net. Like we said, anybody who wears ties to work, the business generally needs to be around 20 to 300 employees and preferably multi-location. Being in Metro Atlanta doesn't matter. We have clients all over the country. So, if you fall in one of those medical, legal, financial spaces that are regulated is really what we're looking for, because they have more complex IT needs than a standard shop.
And for Speakeasy?
Speakeasy, that website is speakeasycounterculture.com, as in counter networking culture, or counter the prevailing networking culture, and that's
and a good day look like for you for
well, I think that would be. Well, I thought that was
smoking cigars.
I would thought be self-evident, but
having a bourbon and a
smoking cigar and bourbon with.
Never mind. You're the one guy that doesn't have to answer that question yet.
Yeah, that's a self-evident one.
Once again, you can find us at Placement, and that's mint.io, placement.io.